Everybody like, hey, are you ready to go? Ready to go? Everybody like, hey.
Alright, what's going on, y'all? Soul here, and welcome back to my story mode. So, the other day we did receive a Nintendo Direct, and of course there was a lot of great things within that Nintendo Direct. Metroid Prime getting a remaster, the first Metroid Prime getting a remaster, Shadow dropped the day of the Direct. You know, we got some more information on Pikmin 4, a lot of other cool games that I'm definitely interested in, like Rain Code and Sea of Stars and stuff like that. Just a bunch of cool little games that I'm very much looking forward to. But for now, we're obviously going to be talking about, you know, one of the bigger highlights of the show, which is Tears of the Kingdom, because I do plan to play this in depth, in full, and, you know, maybe, depending on how things are looking with this channel here, by the time it comes out, I'm down to do some kind of, like, playthrough of some kind. Maybe not a Let's Play, probably, like, a stream playthrough, or I could do, like, a mini-series on it, and this, you know, post every now and again on my progress, and, you know, just whatever, just, you know, just some kind of thing to do with Tears of the Kingdom, because I am very much looking forward to that, and I have an issue where I cannot wait to play games. Like, a new game that I'm looking forward to, I have a sickness. I'm not kidding. Like, it's actually a problem. I cannot stay away from games that are new that I know I'm gonna be playing. Like, it's crazy. But anyway, so while I would love to tell you that this is gonna be like a heavily edited, you know, high quality, you know, in-depth discussion with, you know, nice visuals and all that, I'm sorry, but you know, unfortunately, YouTube, will not help me in that regard. And while I would like to do more videos like that, unfortunately, as it is right now, it doesn't really benefit me to do so. So, for anybody that would love, you know, some really, you know, high quality, in-depth, you know, retrospectives and, you know, discussions and stuff like that on the games that are going to be coming out this year, next year, and whatever, or maybe some, you know, retrospectives, whatever, hit that sub button, give me a like, and let me know that you guys are around for the long haul, and I'm super down to provide you with some of that content. But as of right now, you know, this is what I can bring, and this is a discussion on some of my hopes when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom. I want this game so bad, and we've been waiting for 6 years now since it came out. As of March, it'll be 6 years, which is an insane amount of time for a sequel, especially with them very obviously using the same engine, which means that we're in for a doozy. We're probably going to get a lot of, you know, some new great story, some awesome new gameplay mechanics. I'm looking forward to it through and through. Now, I have a very loose list here of just a couple of my wishes regarding the gameplay elements, regarding the story elements, and just some general things that I would just like to see come to this game. So, I'm gonna kind of go a little not fast, but, you know, fast enough so that I'm not taking up like half an hour of your time. So, without further ado, why don't we talk about some of my hopes and wishes for Tears of the Kingdom. Legend of Zelda, if you didn't know. Anyway, so, obviously we're gonna be talking about the gameplay elements first, and the first main gameplay element that I would really love to see is a true crafting mechanic. We did not have a true crafting mechanic in Breath of the Wild, and that is unfortunate, because that absolutely could have used it. Being able to craft your own weapons, being able to craft, like, you know, your own, like, outfits and, like, gear and stuff like that would have been incredible. I'm telling you, it would have been amazing to be able to have that. I think that a crafting mechanic is one of the only things that held that game back from being one of the perfect video games. Like, seriously. It's damn near up there, and it's kind of hard for anybody to argue. Of course, there are a couple of flaws here and there. Of course, no game is flawless. There's no such thing. But in my personal book, that's one of the only things keeping it from being a perfect game. Honestly. And I would have loved to see, you know, right after breaking one of your swords and stuff like that, being able to go back and, you know, use some of the materials that you grabbed to craft a sword. Maybe we could get unique, you know, make some like slime swords or something like that. I don't know. I feel like we could have gotten really creative with the customization there, you know what I'm saying? So, personally, now we're back in that world. I think this is a perfect second chance to truly implement a crafting mechanic. I don't know how long it's been since the first game. We don't know how long it takes place, but I think it's been long enough for Link to learn how to be a little bit of a crafter, a blacksmith, if you will. So that's just me personally. I would love to see something like that. If it does come, great. If it doesn't come, you know, we've already seen a lot from these trailers here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't get anything crazy. But I would love to see that. The next thing that I really want is that trailer. In that trailer, we saw a lot of what Link can do and how he is able to, in the first trailer, right, we saw that thing breathing fire, and then in this most recent trailer, we saw it using like Sheikah Slate like abilities, right? So I'm just really hoping we're not getting lied to right now. I want multi-use. I want to be able to attack with that thing as easily as I'm able to craft and build, I guess, you know, machinery with that thing. I want that thing to truly be multi-use, and I just don't want to be lied to. I really just don't want to be lied to. That is all. All right? I think there's so much potential in that arm, and there's so much possibility for story and gameplay elements to just really... that arm does everything. It has everything for this for the possibilities when it comes to this game, and I'm really looking forward to utilizing it. I really hope that isn't a lie, and that thing truly is multi-use, and we get some other insane abilities, you know, maybe some more elemental stuff, you know, maybe we're not utilizing the abilities of the champions anymore, and we're utilizing the arm to access, you know, shields and fire and lightning and ice and water and things like that, you know. I want to see more with that arm. That's all I'm saying. So that's my take on that. All right, the next thing that I really want to see is some more overworld life, and I know that's a little vague, and I'm not saying that Breath of the Wild had a bad take on overworld life, because they did have, you know, some merchants, you know, walking the streets. You know what I'm saying? They had a couple of people here and there just roaming around, whatever. But, you know, I want to see more happening in the overworld. You know, I want to see somebody actually chopping down trees, you know, and they are actually knocking down trees. Or I want to see some girl picking apples or whatever, and maybe we see some monsters coming up on her and we got to save them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see more casual overworld life that we can maybe even interact with, because, you know, I do like the setup in Breath of the Wild, and it was totally fine, and I absolutely get it. All right, this kingdom was in shambles, absolutely desolate before Link woke up. The only place that you can find like people really truly together is in towns, and I get that. That's totally fine. Kakariko, all that, cool, awesome. But it's been a couple of years. The hero is back. Ganon, or Calamity, was at least sealed for a little while. So, you know, maybe people are more out and about, you know, they're more comfortable going out, grabbing some food, grabbing some clothing, going to shops and stuff like that. Like they're traveling in between towns. I want to see more of that. I want to see more people in between on my journey. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? And again, Breath of the Wild didn't do a bad job of that, but I just want to see more. That's all that is. All right. So I'm looking forward to more potential overworld life. Would love to see it. All right. The next thing that I really want, I'm sure that a couple of you have asked for this as well, but this is something that I made a video back, or a while back, about. I wanted to see a few more traditional dungeons, right? And not to say that the shrines were a bad take or anything like that. The shrines were fine, but they don't give you what the satisfaction of what a traditional dungeon gave you, you know? Really, like, giving you that mix of like exploration and that Metroidvania feel of being able to go find that ability and then backtrack because you remembered a specific spot where you could utilize this thing, and that helps you progress, and then you're using this new ability. You know what I'm saying? I just want more traditional dungeons. By this point in time, you know, the canon ending, I'm assuming, is that Link got all of his memories back. The only way for that to happen, obviously, is to get, like, well, I guess all the memories. I don't know if that had... Actually, no, hold on. That has nothing to do with the shrines. The point is, I would like to believe that it's canon that Link did go through all of the shrines to truly understand what was happening. And in doing so, you know, he got his... Okay, I'll come back to... There's another thing that involves him going to all the shrines that I got to talk about. But, long story short, shrines didn't replace dungeons like I had hoped. And I don't mind shrines if you're going to bring those back, that's totally fine. But at the same time, there's really no reason to rehash that. And I would personally just prefer like some actual dungeons to go through. Like I'm super down, right? Because I feel like I got a hint, like a taste of a true dungeon when going through, kind of, not really, but kind of like a taste of going through a true dungeon when we were going through the Yiga Clan hideout. That was nice. That was a change of pace. It was awesome to go from overworld to dungeon, you know what I mean, or quote unquote dungeon. I want more of that, more, you know, discovering a new ability and then you utilize that ability to actually get through the dungeon. And then when you're in the overworld, you're using that new ability to craft things for yourself, maybe some new gear, some traversal methods and stuff like that. You're going up and down from the sky world to down below, however that works. I have no idea, but I just want some traditional dungeons, and I don't really care how that has to happen. Not unhappy with Shrine, but I would love to see something, you know, a little more to form with this one. And that's just my take on it, right? Another thing that I would like to see is a tad more generosity when it comes to the lifespans of weapons, right? Now, I get like the wooden stuff and the weaker general stuff, but I feel like, I'm sure a lot of us can agree, which is another reason why I want the crafting system so bad, is that a lot of the stuff that we were utilizing when it came to swords and axes and boomerangs and everything, a lot of it felt very flimsy. A lot of it would break after a good couple of uses. Your shield, everything. You slide on your shield for like 2 minutes and that sucker was done for. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't the Hylian shield. So I just want a little more generosity with the lifespan, you know. I don't think that that's too much to ask for, especially if we're going to be fighting like abundances of enemies and stuff like that. It's genius in theory. I just want them to hold on just a little bit longer. Or at the very least, if not that, actually, this is on the spot here. If not that, I would like to see a health bar for it. Does that make sense? I'm talking Minecraft here. I want to see how much use it has left before I have to fix it or get a new one or whatever, so that I'm at least aware, you know what I mean? Having it just shatter on me mid-battle is so inconvenient. Because I could be mid-combo doing something crazy, mix-ups, and then it just busts. And I'm like, oh, I mean breaks. Excuse me. I mean breaks. And that's unfortunate. So I would really like it if we could at least know when to expect the break to happen. That's all I want, right? And then the last thing that I want as far as the gameplay elements, this is kind of a story element too, but we'll get to more of that in a second. But like I said about the whole shrine thing, I do truly want it to just be canon that Link found all the shrines and actually went toe to toe with what's that thing called, the god, whatever that thing is, and actually got his own divine beast, which was his motorcycle. I'm serious. I want the motorcycle back. I don't care how slow it is in comparison to all the other tools that we're going to be utilizing. I want his motorcycle back. I'm not kidding. Do not play with me, Nintendo. I'm not kidding. Give him his freaking divine beast back. That is his divine beast. It really is a beast, bro. That thing made me so happy. Nothing made me happier than getting that motorcycle. Bring it back. That's all I want. All right, so that does it for the gameplay elements. Let's go ahead and move on to the story elements, starting with the fact that I would just like a playable, or if not that, at least a generally more present Zelda, right? I love Zelda. I love her so much. This Zelda is easily my favorite iteration of Zelda, personally. I know a lot of people don't really agree, but personally, she's adorable to me. I love her so much. I love this iteration of Zelda, and I think that her genius could be utilized for so much. And that's been proven in Age of Calamity, that she can hold her own if, given the opportunity to. With the Sheikah Slate, with the bike, with her power that is definitely awakened by now since we rescued her just recently. I see so much potential for her as a character to be able to hold her own. And something like Breath of the Wild is one of the few games where I have never in my life so badly wanted her to be a playable character, or at the very least just present Like, she's not even like an NPC in the, there's no point at which she's even an NPC in the overworld. That sucked. You know what I mean? I want to be able to, like, if I'm going on, you know, my missions, coming back from dungeons, I want to be able to talk to her. I want to be able to, you know, converse with her about where to go next, what's going to happen now, and stuff like that. I want her there. I want her there. That's all I want. If she's not playable, then I want her there. None of this, she fell in a pit and we don't see her until the end of the game. I'm sick of that. Do not do it. I will be furious. Alright? Leaving it at that. Next up. This is more of a just like, wow, that's exciting. If that's Matt Mercer as Ganon, that's insane. Run it, Nintendo. Run that into the floor. Please. That is so sick. That is so sick. That's all there is to that. I don't know why I wrote that in story elements. I wish you guys could see the mess that is my quote-unquote script here. It's so funny. Either way, next up, I want some kind of reference to Age of Calamity, right? Just a little one. It doesn't even have to be, it could be so minor, right? I just want reference for some things in that game so they could become canon, or at the very least some really neat Easter eggs. Either the little the mini guardian, right? I want to see the mini guardian in a box somewhere. I want to, maybe he's roaming around the castle or something. I want to see mini guardian present a little bit. Also, I want to see Aster somehow. It could be Aster himself, or it can be a descendant of Aster, right? Aster was so sick. That was a crazy ass character in Age of Calamity. We know nothing about that man, but he had so much potential as a character that I feel that the way he was utilized, kind of a waste. You know what I mean? Not a complete waste, but I feel like he could have been used in the main story and he would have been awesome. You know what I mean? To have this underling to deal with while, you know, Ganon is restoring himself. That's kind of how most of these games work when it comes to Ganon. Like, he always has that one underling, whether it be in Skyward Sword, Giraham, or in Twilight Princess with I always forget homeboy's name, but either way, even if they were to make Aster canon, he would be a character from 100 years ago, and maybe the events would, you know, turn up differently as opposed to what happened in Age of Calamity, because there's no way that could be canon, obviously. But if Age of Calamity had any semblance, that would mean that Aster probably would have been around during that time. Maybe he would have done something a little differently, and maybe he would be probably dead by now, meaning we'd probably be meeting his descendants. So maybe he has like a kid or so that's, you know, taking care of business and really, like, you know, halting the heroes from stopping Ganon's true revival or something like that. And I just feel like that would be so perfect, because like I said, anything like, you know, Giraham, or what is his name from Twilight Princess? I feel like I'm losing my mind, but you guys know who I'm talking about if you're a Zelda fan. So all I'm saying is, I would love that. I would love that. I would love for some semblance of Age of Calamity to be around, even if it's not something huge. That's all I want. And then the final thing that I would want as far as the story elements is a better balance between story and gameplay, right? That was the other thing that Breath of the Wild lacked. I know I was dramatic in saying that, oh, crafting mechanic is the only thing it's missing. No, actually, this is it right here. This is the last time I'm saying this. This was the last thing that it was missing, was the fact that it was all gameplay. It was mostly gameplay for so long, and then the story beats would feel just kind of like inserted in a way that made it convenient for your travels, if that makes any sense. I want it so that we're going to dungeons, we're seeing cutscenes every now and again, like, you know, as we play. I want to be able to run into a certain area and the cutscene starts, and then when we get out of that cutscene, we're right where we're left off, or maybe we're in a new area because we left that area. I want to see cutscenes happen. I want to see things and story connect with the gameplay. You know what I'm saying? I want more of that. I truly do, because that it feels like a better balance to me, because one of the primary problems that I had with Breath of the Wild is that the story felt a little too scattered for me. You know, having to, you know, making the story optional is kind of what it didn't do it any justice. It didn't do it any services. And so, you know, it turned out okay. It could have been much better, but it's not the strongest story ever told. I do enjoy it a lot still for what it is, but it could have been a lot stronger if things felt a little more connected. And I want something like that here more than ever. I want to be able to, you know, run up to a cave and it's just like, hey, me and Zelda are talking outside this cave and she waits for me as I run in, and then, you know, maybe inside the cave we're getting some cutscenes and maybe a little bit of story and backstory on maybe an enemy we're fighting in there or something like that. I just want a little bit of better balance between story and gameplay. I want it to flow and like seamlessly, like a river. You know what I'm saying? I want them to connect. You know, I want to feel like I'm playing other traditional games and stuff like that, like an RPG, truly. So, but that's just my take on it. You don't have to agree with me on that front. But yeah, so that just about does it for the gameplay and story elements. Now the last thing is just the general stuff. What are some extra stuff that could make the game perfect for me? Well, personally, you know, hey, just bring back some good music. You know, the music in Breath of the Wild was pretty damn good. I want some more good music. You know what I'm saying? Bring my boy back with his accordion, whatever that thing's called. You know what I'm saying? I want him back. All right. I want an actual house that we can like own and decorate, and we were kind of able to do that in one of the houses that we built in one of the towns, but I want something more concrete. I want to be able to put up like pictures and be able to collect items that I could display in the house, you know what I mean? Not just gear that I could put up in one area. I want to be able to put up posters that I find. If I want to do something insane, maybe like putting up a head or something, like one of our enemies' heads or something like that. I mean, I know that's crazy, but that's just an example of some things like I would like to do, because I would like to make it my own little hut. You know, that's one of those things where they could totally make an online thing out of it and be like, hey, share your house, your link house. And so now everybody's on Twitter sharing their link house. What are they putting in their house? You know what I'm saying? I would like to see something like that, because that just makes the game just a little more cozy. You know what I mean? Another thing that I would like is, like I said earlier, maybe some more Easter eggs and stuff like that. But another thing is like just more costumes and outfits. You know, I found some of the outfits really, really funny. I liked a lot of what we had, but I want some more outfits that are like cool and that I can just like actually like. I want some dark outfits. You know what I'm saying? I want something that looks like a Jedi robe or something while I'm running around. You know what I'm saying? Like I want something sick. You know, because a lot of the other outfits were kind of goofy. In Breath of the Wild. So I just want some more serious outfits that I can really like customize and have fun with, you know. Again, not done badly in Breath of the Wild or anything. I just want more. I just want that back, and I just want more of that. So looking forward to that, if that's a possible thing that you could do. And the last thing, pretty obvious one, just mostly everything that we had prior in Breath of the Wild, just make it feel good, or possibly even better than before. That's it. I just want a good feeling game with a good feeling story and a awesome gameplay loop and sick mechanics. That's it. And maybe some more, you know, Matt Mercer voice acting, you know, maybe some other familiar voices. Eric Harlatcher. Erica Linebeck, you know what I'm saying? So, either way, that's just me. How are you guys feeling about that? Do you guys have any specific hopes and wishes when it comes to Breath of the Wild? Or I'm sorry, Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry, we've been calling it Breath of the Wild 2 for so long. That it's kind of like ingrained in there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is different for you, but for me, it's ingrained in there. It's Breath of the Wild 2. But no, what are your guys' hopes and wishes for Tears of the Kingdom? Do you agree with a lot of what I said? Do you guys have your own original hopes and wishes? Do you guys have any familiar things that you'd like to return, or things that you'd like to disappear in the next game? Tell me everything you guys are thinking in the comment section below, because I hope you know for a fact that I'm always going to be down there with you guys. But with that, it do be skedaddle o'clock. I'd like to thank you guys ever so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed. Do me the greatest favor of dropping a like and a comment, and consider subscribing for more content just like this here. And with that, I am gone. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed. I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Do me the greatest favor of taking good ass care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!